Hello and welcome to another episode of Explorers of Elsewhere. I am DM Dan, and this is my brave band of adventurers. Hello.
That's us.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you all doing?
Yeah,
From
alright.
the dead. Woo.
Maybe.
Not
Question
yet.
mark? We have a full house, which off the back of the past few episodes might be a bit surprising. But yes, we are here. Thank you for coming along. And thank you for hitting the like button and subscribe button preemptively, because you know this is going to be an absolute banger of an episode.
Oh, no
It is
problem.
appreciated.
That's right. Yeah. So we have made it. You are on the final straights. We
Not
are
all of us made it, Dan.
not well. Okay. Most of you
insensitive.
made it. Most of you made it. Some of you took shortcuts. But most of you made it. Yeah, we are here, episode 16. We're nearly at the end. With that in mind, who would like to begin the end?
Wait, we've got 4 more episodes before the end. Come on, don't get ahead of yourself.
Well, it's a big end.
Oh, we could go on so many
Lord of the Rings.
tangents in that short space.
There's
of
like 5
time.
different endings.
Yes.
Just gonna drag it out. Just
We've got
drag
a
it out doing
Groundhog Day.
side quests. That's what
Yeah,
we're
Hell
doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
All of the side quests. Like, and there's like, don't we owe someone like 5 blackberries that we were meant to bring them from,
Yes.
from
Yes.
level 1? Yeah.
Yeah, they're all dead. Shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. The world has been broken and remade. Our civilizations are shattered, our people divided. Yet there are those who would rise up to bring a light to the all-encompassing darkness.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Sir Carmichael Comstock, a Loravar Cavalier fighter.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Frinka, a Wolfkin Scout Rogue.
Hi, I'm Lane. I'm playing Milia Ray Celeste, an Asavar Divine Soul Sorcerer.
My name's Tim, and I'm playing Galena, the Terran Sprite Alchemist Artificer.
And my name is Dan. I will be the Dungeon Master on this adventure. Whilst our world has been changed, we band together, hope bright in our hearts. We push forward to reclaim what was once ours, and we shall be known as the Explorers of Elsewhere. It has been less than a few months since 4 souls came together, later joined by a 5th, to embark on a historical journey into the unknown. An unknown of both the physical and emotional. The impact of the Explorer expeditions marked a turning point for the people of Elsewhere, as the mortals strode out to reclaim their lost world. Their departure was heralded with celebration and excitement, the people eager to hear what was to be rediscovered. But those more cynical, or sensible, knew that the dangers facing the explorers would be grave. Forces with less than altruistic intent were diving into the reformed world too, and our explorers find themselves in the shadow of an effigy to these forces, as they gaze up at the crystalline edifice that dominates the Crystal Spine Forest. Atrach Sindrith must be stopped. He will pay for his crimes, and there is one who would like to mite out justice more than any other.
Who dat?
And so we find Comstock, Galena, Milia, Frinka, Davin, and Knockenbach in the midst of a forest of trees made of light blue and lilac crystal that glow with a similar intensity to Galena's right hand. Having just dispelled the enormous illusion concealing this huge crystal tower that looms over the forest canopy, we find you having just turned round, your ears picking up what appears to be a ethereal and melodious violin song. And as you've turned and seen what appears to be a life figure, like hidden by foliage, seemingly playing this violin, but the outline never quite being crisp enough to kind of identify. The figure approaches and like in front of you is a 7-foot tall keeper wearing naturalistic robes, a laurel of almost metallic, like gleaming leaves across her forehead, ridged horns rising from her brow, strange pearlescent tattoo, like war paint tattoos across her face, neck, arms, and torso. Her eyes are a similar hue. They glow with some sort of unearthly power. And in this moment, you recognize it's Addie.
This can't be.
What?
Oh. Forest of Illusions. Be on your guard.
Yeah, this is weird.
The figure looks at you for a moment, and with this song kind of wafting through the air around you, and Galena, as you say that, the figure steps forward, and you hear a branch, a twig snap underfoot, and it dawns on you that the figure in front of you is just as real as you are.
Last time the forest showed us our own fears back to us. I don't think Addie is considered such. What are you?
I am very glad to see you all again. That is what I am. Hello, friends.
How is this possible?
No.
Well, quite the story. Do you have a moment for me to explain?
That better be good.
Of course.
As you kind of study this newcomer, who looks the spitting image of Addie, but there's something different about her. The keeper closes her eyes and seemingly gets lost in the song. And a song that was one of the first things you heard. You awoke to darkness, but the song still seemed to guide you. As a feeling of claustrophobic panic began setting in, you felt a movement around you, a scraping, a digging, it seems. And before long, beams of daylight began to emerge through the darkness. And as the earth peeled away in front of you, like the petals of a blossoming flower, you sat up in a field of white star lilies. And in your hazy mind, you remember, you immediately find the scene pleasing. And in your hazy mind, you feel like you remember this place. and sat on a nearby rock, playing an ethereal melodious tune on their violin, is a slim and slender figure dressed in greens and yellows, a slight emerald tinge to their hair as it cascades down their shoulders. And as you sit up and kind of look over at this stranger, the song stops and the stranger raises their eyebrows. Oh, you're awake.
Wait. The song?
Yes.
I...
Hi.
The song stopped and I remember you.
Well, I should hope so. We've been friends for some years.
You've come to me over and over again, but I haven't been able to remember before, and where am I? What happened?
Well, you are right back where you're supposed to be.
The Atrach.
Oh, yes.
Coroloro.
Oh, yes.
I died. I remember the dark. I remember.
Yes. Yes. It has been quite a rough journey for you, hasn't it? Your story, your tale has been quite bumpy. But you're here, just as you were supposed to be. And for that, I'm glad.
Am I here? I feel different. I feel like me, but not just me.
Well, I should hope so. I mean, you've died, Dryadia. You've died and come back. I mean, I couldn't. It wasn't the end to your story. No. No, I haven't led you along this path for you to die at the hands of such a brute like Atrach Sindrith. No. You are destined for greater things.
But this was you. You brought me back.
Not quite. No, I just watched, as I usually do. No, you did what you were supposed to do. And you went to save a good friend of mine. And luckily, you were able to forge a connection with my friend just before your unexpected demise. Well, I say unexpected, but semantics.
I remember reaching out to Coroloro. I remember moving forward. Wait, hang on.
Yes.
What do you mean, sort of unexpected? Did you know this would happen to me?
Well,
You've been leading me all this time, and you knew this would happen.
The thing with stories is that you need to have your highs and your lows.
I'd say,
as I say,
waking from a grave is pretty low.
It is. But here you are. And might I say, you look positively radiant.
Yeah, at this point I sort of put my hands out in front of me and sort of notice the sort of pearlescent, almost ethereal tattoos, and I touch my face and my hair.
you notice as you touch, as you go to touch your face, you feel like you can feel your inner warmth, but your cheeks almost feel cold, slightly cold to the touch, almost like you're not really touching your own body. It'll take a little while to get used to. It's not every day that someone gets jump-started by a world spirit.
Oh,
Who would have known that siphoning a whole region's worth of mana into a single divine being and then tapping into it would do something like this? You could almost say, if someone were to tell you that story, you wouldn't believe it.
so Coroloro, did it survive?
I hope so. I'd be very sad if my friend were to have passed, because the funny thing with world spirits is that there are some things that even I don't know the ending of the stories for.
But does that mean I carry a piece of Coroloro with me?
Possibly. Looking at your strands of fate, I can't see the ends anymore.
But why? Why me? What? I'm no one special.
Why you? I couldn't tell you that, Dryadia. That would be a spoiler.
Who are you? I feel like I remember I've asked you this in the past. I don't think you've ever answered. Who are you? What are you?
The stranger stands up and approaches you, and then with a very dramatic and elaborate bow. I have many names, but the one that particularly takes my fancy is Velatius.
Velatius. Does that name mean anything to me?
Roll me a history, religion.
History, religion-y, typey thingy.
Yeah.
History, religion-y, typey thingy. Religion it is.
18. So, 18. You cast your mind back to some of your earliest childhood memories. And you vaguely remember the name Velatius being thrown around as this like mythical figure. You try to think of the story, and you can't remember who they are or like what the story was about, but you do remember that Velatius was referred to as a Fey Lord.
Velatius. I remember stories of there was a noble, a Fey noble. It's on the tip of my tongue. That's you?
Well, I dare to say that some of those stories may be a bit embellished, or not, as the case may be for some of them.
What would a Fey Lord want with me?
Oh, I couldn't possibly tell you that, because then you would have no reason to carry on finding out for yourself.
I've got so many questions, but my companions, my friends, are they all right? Did they?
Well-
And I sort of look around for other graves near me.
You notice to your immediate left is another grave. And as you kind of scramble out of the hole in the ground that you find yourself still sat in, and you glance upon the somewhat crude kind of wooden tombstone, it reads horse.
Oh.
Brave bears are normally quite brave, but that one there, more so than most.
Oh, I.
Now, that pit you're feeling in your stomach right now, that is your low.
I'm angry.
Good. You should be. Because for what is about to come, we're going to need you on your top form. You see, my good friend, Coroloro, is in a spot of bother. Just like your friends are about to be. So, I think that we could help one another here.
That creature was an innocent. This plague, these crystals, they've been infecting everything. They've ruined everything.
Yes, you're not wrong.
I will do anything to wipe this land of this scourge. What do I need to do?
All you need to do, Dryadia, is follow the sound of my song. Go to your friends. Save Coroloro. And then we'll see what the rest of your story has to tell. And with that, there's a sudden flurry of leaves and wind, like a strong wind that blows past. And as the leaves pass by Valesius, they disappear along with them and flutter off onto the winds. And you find yourself alone on a hill covered in white star lilies.
I cast Goodbury for the final time, and for a moment I stare at the small pile of berries in my hand, and then I gently rest them on the mound that encases Horse the Bear, and then I walk off to follow the song.
Okay. You follow the song in a somewhat northwesterly direction. As you go and you see things for the first time, it feels like you're seeing them. It feels like you've seen them before. It feels like the memories are coming in, but it's taking a while for them to come to the surface. Especially when you approach a forest made of trees which seem to have this blue and lilac pink crystalline growth upon them. But the sound of the song leads you directly into the forest. And as you kind of tread your way through this weaving path, you can feel this somewhat oppressive, malignant, poisonous aura emanating from around you. You can immediately feel the thrumming of arcane energy infecting this place, but not in a natural way like it used to. This is arcane mana in excess. And you notice this as you glance at the crystals, you glance at the tree trunks, the bark of which has become crystalline. This is an infection. You hear whispers. You see fleeting figures running from tree to tree as you step through, but as you follow the song, they never really seem to materialize in any real significant way. And before long, you see what appears to be a huge blue crystal tower jutting from the forest. And stood in front of it are 7 individuals. A Lorivar knight, an Asavar woman, a Terran sprite, a wolfkin, a foppish looking Lorivar, and then 2 confused looking goblins. And as you approach them, you notice them start to turn, and their voices seem extremely far away. And you hear one of them suggest that you're not real, but the look on her face changes when a twig breaks underfoot. And you find yourself in front of some people who, as you look at them for a moment, the memory of their names rises to the surface.
It really is good to see you all.
I can't believe it, yet here you are in front of me.
I'm gonna pick up a stick and cautiously approach and just poke you with it a little.
As you approach this figure that looks eerily like Addy, just as the stick's about to prod this keeper, you notice the end of it splits and a small shoot emerges from the end of the stick and blossoms into a small white flower.
That's pretty cool.
I know you all, and I have fond memories of our time and travel together. As I'm sure you already well know, especially you, Galena, considering that you were so kind to take ownership of my book before I left. But I have a confession. I don't think I'm quite who you knew me to be. I am not quite the Addy that left. Instead, I think it would be more appropriate to call me Dryadia.
Of course.
Sounds a bit serious. Can Frinken go up to Addy and try and poke, and then gonna try and see if she has breath, and then
Careful your fingers might turn to flowers.
jump up and try and get her pulse. Are you even real? I don't know. Don't stop moving, quick.
I let Frinka touch me.
Mm.
And I look into her eyes and I say, honestly, I'm not yet sure.
You're super
What?
cold. It's like you woke up from the dead or something.
Frinka,
Something like that.
As you hold your fingers, as you stand up, almost kind of have to stand up on tiptoes to reach up to Dryadia's neck. The one thing you notice as you stare up into her face, into her eyes, is that Addie's eyes were a warm amber orange, full of kind of curiosity and like life. Dryadia's eyes are a cold grey green, glassy almost, and you can't help but feel a sense of sadness from them, tinged with purpose.
Dryadia. I'm sorry. I really tried. I did. I tried to save you and Coralora. I'm really sorry.
She walks up to Comstock and again lays a hand on his shoulder. Looks into his eyes. It is okay.
I'm happy to see you.
Together, we are going to make things right. And I look around at everyone. I'm still uncertain the manner in which I've returned, and I'm still uncertain who exactly I am anymore. But I know one thing. I was put here for a purpose, and I am here to fulfill that purpose. And I gesture towards Atrach's tower. My purpose is to cut out that infection at its heart.
As you say this out loud, you catch a glimmer of movement off to the side, and as you glance over, you see the form of Valacius just off in the distance, slowly nod, and as they disapparate and the song fades with them, you feel like you're supposed to be in this exact spot, in this exact moment.
Next, I go up to Frinker. And Frinker,
Yes. I love your makeup, by the way. Looks so nice. Really? Love the glow up. It's fantastic.
that's good. I did wonder whether my appearance might be a little unsettling.
No, it suits you.
But Frinker, I am sorry that your friend turned out to not be who you thought he was. Wait.
Who you talking about?
Wait.
Is it Victor?
You don't know.
Is Victor do this?
We don't know what happened to Victor.
Oh. Sorry, I've been in the ground for... Victor spoke about someone that he was hunting.
Yes, he mentioned him to me.
Yeah.
Victor was that man.
Victor was hunting himself?
To all intents and purposes, yes. When we went to the clearing to find Coraloro, I thought he was coming to help me, but he turned. He was with Atrach all along. But
He was
something...
waiting for him?
No, but something was different. It wasn't exactly Victor who turned. It's almost like his personality shifted, and then he was someone else.
When I arrived in the glade, he didn't recognize me. I wondered if maybe Yakov may have been a sibling or a twin.
No, I think he was Victor all along. I'm not sure whether Victor knew that, though.
So Yakov is Victor and Victor is Yakov? Oh. Deep.
That's the best I could make sense of the situation. There was a lot going on before my death.
Dryady, you remember, Victor being quite angry at Atrach, saying this wasn't part of the deal. And then the way he just slumped.
I think
he was switched off.
I think Victor had made some sort of deal with Atrach. He was talking about bringing his wife back. But then he switched, and he was no longer Victor. He was this Yakov.
So both Victor and Yakov betrayed us.
The one last thing you remember were Atrach's last words to Victor. I don't need you right now.
We saw the rifle burns on Addie's body and on ours.
Yeah, he shot you bad.
And I have a promise I intend to keep to
So do I.
Victor.
What you gonna do?
I'm going to kill him.
Racia.
In the,
Maybe.
in
I
the
try.
cave with the creature. I told him that if any of the harm ever comes to any of you because of him, because of what he brought here, then he dies. And I intend to keep that as well.
Did we all promise to kill Victor? I think we all did, right?
Fundamentally, yes, I think we all did. If he betrayed us, and unfortunately we all have a promise to keep. But I will relinquish my promise to kill Victor to leave that to you lot.
I think Victor was broken. I don't think he intentionally meant harm on us on a personal level. I think, much like Atrach, he may have just wanted to do anything to get his wife back.
He's gonna stop me killing Atrach.
That's maybe the
Don't
sense I
sell-
got. But
You don't sell the people out if you don't intend to hurt them.
either way, Victor,
Well.
Yakov, if they get in my way, then they will be eliminated.
Well, I don't think I know you, Jayadi, a bit. We need all the help we can get. And
Agreed.
suppose no sense us sitting around here talking about it.
Let us go.
So, any more for any more?
Yeah, can we talk about this giant crystal tower up here?
As you all turn your attentions back to the tower that looms over you, like it's tall enough that the perspective makes it seem like it's leaning over you. When looking at, well, you can kind of make out from its shape that it's quite pointed, like a spire or a minaret or some sort. But Galena, you feel your hand kind of, you feel like it feels like a beating of your blood through your hand, like a pulsing. But you know it's mana. That draw that you were feeling, it's subsided now that the illusion's gone. Speaking of your hand, everyone would have received the benefits of a long rest, so you may all go ahead and do that.
Hooray!
A long,
Galena.
long rest for me.
Galena, I'm going to need you
Oh, you
to
get the
go
contracts.
ahead and make me a DC 11 Con check. For
Easy.
it's been
Easy.
a day.
Don't say that.
Check or save?
Save.
Come on. Not being consumed. Yeah!
So, over the space of the night, sort of like heading back from like Ichabod's Addie's funeral and whatnot, you have managed to stave off the effects of crystallization for another day.
Onyx still going strong for now.
So, yes, you all. So, as you also up, like Galena, you can feel this thrumming through, like from your wrist across your palm down your fingers, and as you look up, I mean, it's just a large. It looks like a large chunk of crystal, but you feel like you just naturally feel like you're able to interact with it in some manner.
Not sure I like that. There's enough magic in this thing to wipe out everything for miles. Well, I'll give it a poke.
Okay. As
See if it
you
reacts.
as you approach and your fingertip touches the side of this this edifice, the surface seemingly ripples, and you watch as what you can only describe as almost like a swirling vortex-like doorway opens up, a portal, if you will. You feel like, and like your finger slides through the surface of the crystal, like you just dipped your finger into a bowl of water.
Ooh.
And you realize that your hand is allowing you to
Okay.
move into the crystal.
I suppose maybe there'll be a door I can open on the inside. See you in a minute.
Okay. And you all watch as Galena disappears.
I would love it if only the hand went in and thunk. Oh.
Galena disappears in through this shimmering wall. And you watch as the wall seeming sort of like laps around her features, like she's walking through a wall of water. Galena vanishes from sight, and the rest of you, like you hear Davin kind of go, "Oh, that was unexpected. Oh, hello, Dryad. Davin, in case you don't remember. Okay, yes. Do you think she's coming back?" He says about Galena.
Comstock knocks on the tower.
Whereabouts are you knocking?
Where
on
Galena
the puddle
walked
wall?
in. Yeah, where Galena walked in.
And as you go to knock, as you wrap your knuckle against it, your hand falls through it.
Oh,
Comstock follows through.
Okay.
I see.
yeah, I'll just walk through.
Okay.
We all go through.
Finger does a front flip forward into the.
But at that point, it's solidified again.
Ow! Ouch!
No, do it slower, much slower.
As Frinker steps through, in the middle of this crystal spine forest, the three figures of Davin, Nock, and Bok just stand there looking at this shimmering wall. And Davin just like he's got his hands clasped in front of him, and he's just kind of like orbiting his thumbs around each other, just and he sort of like slowly looks down to the two goblins and, well, you first. And the two goblins simultaneously look up to him and go, "Absolutely fucking not." And with a deep breath and like a little panic squeak, Davin closes his eyes, winces, and through the wall he goes. And Galena,
Hello.
you feel something akin to a cold rushing wind, somewhere between a cold rushing wind and the chill of the depths of the ocean rush over your body, and you feel the coldness seeping through your skin towards your core. And as you start to feel this almost kind of crushing sensation, it suddenly stops. And your foot, all of that seemingly happens in the time it takes to place your foot down on solid ground, to take a single step. And as you look up, and moments later you hear the sounds of sounds of Comstock's heavy boots kind of emerge from nowhere behind you. You find yourself in what appears to be a large, long hallway. The floor underfoot is made up of a cold, dark blue cobblestone. There is unnatural lighting to your left and right, and you turn to look to see clusters of mana crystals glowing in a manner similar to those you found in the Chimera's lair. You can see pillars with what appear to be shimmering fields of light stretching between them, but don't see, they just like walls of energy. As you look forward, you see that there's a small staircase that rises up into a hall similar to this one that stretches on further. To your left and right, you see small stairways down into side halls, like side wings, also festooned with a number of kind of glowing fields. And as you take this all in, and you start to hear the arrival of everyone else behind you, your eyes, as they adjust to the relatively low light, look down the end of the long hall ahead of you, and you see a towering figure that causes your stomach to tighten into a knot from sheer fear. As roll me a religion check.
Everyone done?
Just Galena at this point.
Okay.
12.
You recognize the statue at the far end of the hallway, even as far away as it is, to be a figure of a Khan. As you look around, you also notice that the walls themselves seem to be made up of the same kind of blue and lilac crystal that your hand is made of. And the walls curve up into an arched, vaulted ceiling overhead. You know that mana crystals are inherently chaotic, yet this looks quite manufactured. And you realize you are, in fact, inside this crystal spire, this tower. And it looks like the construction of this place is very, very deliberate. As you all emerge into the hallway and you take in the sights of what really shouldn't be possible, let's grab a quick break.
Oh. What is going on?
We're all
See you all
gonna
in a bit.
die.
See you in a bit.
Yeah.
And now, on this episode of the New Prosper Radio, Our intrepid explorers of elsewhere have headed up into a forest. We don't know where they've gone. We don't know if they're ever coming back. But by jolly, we salute them as they go. Remember, this channel is powered by your subscriptions and likes. Drop them off at your local radio station, and we'll keep the content coming.
You can feel the slow beating of your hearts in your chests as you take in deep breaths of dusty air tinged with a peculiarly acidic smell. The lights around you contort the shadows into different shapes, fiendish shapes, making it seem like you are being surrounded at all times. You are inside the largest mana crystal you have ever seen, all under the watchful eye of a looming statue of the arch betrayer, Akan. What do you do?
I think Frinker would sneak, stealth, and maybe go down one of the side passages.
Okay.
Roll for that.
Well, if you're sneaking, then if you need to roll the stealth, if you need to check your stealth, we'll check when it's necessary.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, just be wary. Effectively, relatively free movement within reason around this beautifully crafted birdie maps map.
Ooh, buddy map.
Thank you, Birdie.
So, Frinker, as you take a step into the hallway, the first hallway on your right, you descend down a small set of steps, like 5 steps in total, and you notice the quite ornate architecture, that architectural design of the steps, with the pillars flanking the corners either side. As you take a step forward, you find yourself bathed in this strange kind of yellow light that emanates from the 2 fields of energy to either side of you that stretch between sets of pillars. And in front of you is a swirling vortex of energy that is a similar yellow hue to the energy fields to your sides. You can also see more clusters of mana crystals that this is the first time you've seen so many in kind of one place. You've seen crystals scattered around Galina's lab, but to see this many in a single place, and they glow in a shifting rainbow hue, thrumming with energy. Comstock, Milia, you appear to have begun making your way up the main hall.
I'm staying by Comstock.
Okay.
Yeah, Comstock's just looking over the brow, basically.
Sure. So yeah, as you ascend a relatively short stairway of 5 steps, you kind of reach a plateau, and there's another set of steps upwards a bit further. The pillars on at the corners of these stairs seemingly reach up to the ceiling of this kind of carved crystalline structure. Fields of purplish, like violet light emanating from the fields either side of you. As you take a step forward, there's a patch of more kind of clear, in lieu of cobblestone, it's more kind of large slabs of marble. And you notice what seem to be draconic runes inscribed on some of them. You peer up, and this much closer, the looming figure of Akan doesn't seem to diminish in any way now that you're closer. Quite the opposite, in fact.
So what's your take, Milia?
I've never seen anything like this place, but it's awful, and I think we need to treat everything as hostile.
I agree. I think we need to be methodical in this place. I don't want to repeat what happened in the glade. Let's return to the others.
Okay.
Ryadia would like to try
yeah.
something.
Mhm.
I would like to try and reach back out to Coroloro and see if I can determine a direction we should be going.
Okay.
Sort of reach out that energy.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. Perception. 22.
22.
Respectable.
You close your eyes and try to, filter out the outside world, and it almost feels like the walls of this place are falling away from you as you focus in on this energy that courses through your body. You can sense Coroloro is here and is in distress. But as you look around, as you kind of look around the space and try to figure out where the tether is leading you to, it dawns on you that there is no geographical sense in this place. Coroloro is everywhere. You can't figure out, in physical space, you can't figure out where he is. You can feel their energy suffusing everything around you. But there's no one direction that energy is coming from. This place does not make sense.
Can I make some sort of communication? Is that possible?
Yes, off the back of it, like you're able to pinpoint Coroloro well enough on the 22.
Can I? Because if it's two-way, is there a way I can sort of send forth images of what I'm seeing?
Yes.
I need guidance.
Okay.
Which way should we go?
So as you kind of, broadcast out what you're seeing, and for those of you looking, like one of you notices, like overhears, Davin go, are you all right? As he just sort of steps round Dryadia, who's peering up, because Dryadia just seems to have gone expressionless, and like her eyes are open and unblinking. But as you broadcast this view to Coroloro and ask for direction, you receive back a vision of a large domed hall with what appears to be the peak of a huge chunk of mana crystal jutting from the ground, rising all the way up to near the top of this 50-foot-ish tall domed room. But the view is distorted, it's fragmented. It's almost as if it's being refracted. And it takes you a moment to realize you are looking through a wall of crystal. And it dawns on you that Coroloro you just get the feeling like Coroloro implies a sensation of being imprisoned. But through this distorted view of the world, cut up by the rough edges of the crystal that Coroloro is entombed in, you see a pacing figure of a purple-scaled dragonborn in a black and red regalia, pacing backwards and forwards, anxiously looking up to the large crystal that dominates the room. And just before the vision fades, you just about make out what appears to be a silhouette within the large crystal.
I know what we're looking for. But I don't know how to get to it, this place. It's all wrong. I think it would be easy to get lost. So we must stick together. But I will say this. I have seen Atrach. And I don't think he is alone.
Galena, roll me a quick Arcana check. With advantage because of your proficient knowledge of crystals, like mana crystals. 26.
26.
That was a
Nice.
good one.
Bossing it. As Dryadia says that out loud, you stop and think, and like, because how have you been feeling about a mana crystal this size, like a giant? It's a mountainous mana crystal erupting from the ground.
I mean, it's like somewhat fascinating, definitely, but mostly terrifying.
Sure.
Because this much shouldn't be in one place at once.
You really shouldn't. As you overhear Dryadia say what she says, off the back of a 26, one of your theories that you've been mulling suddenly, seemingly becomes confirmed. Being in such a strong focus of magic, like you feel like you're potentially at the center of multiple ley line convergences, which just spawns this huge structure. But with that amount of power, the rules of physics are very mutable here.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if this location is technically real.
Yes, you wouldn't be surprised if the locations within this tower are almost nothing more than demi-planes of existence that float around in a sea of mana, connected, as you look over your shoulder, by these vortex-like portals. So, Addy saying the place doesn't make sense kind of figures. The spaces that you can move around in are effectively amorphous and just moving around freely.
Yeah, communicate around just so I can.
Do we
We're
want
not
to go through
really-
one of the portals?
I don't know if we have much choice. They're just islands in the stream of reality.
Don't know what that means.
Me neither.
Frinka, you know for Galena to acknowledge that she doesn't know the answer about the smart know-whats is a bad sign.
Must be complicated.
So how do you propose we do this, Galena?
Alright, I'll kick in my tremor sense.
Uh-huh.
Using that and combining that with the vibrations going through my hand, do I get any indication of which way might be useful to check out?
Sure. As you focus and you feel like a heat starts to radiate from your palm as you place it down on the ground. You feel the vibrations of everyone kind of pacing around slowly. You notice the footsteps of it's one of the goblin twins hopping from foot to foot, seemingly quite nervous, because you hear them sort of like chattering and like lampooning one another, but you get the sense that actually they're just really scared right now. But you also feel the ebb and flow of the mana that courses through this place, and this place is saturated. It's like you've just stuck your hand into a raging river that flows to and from these four hallways. But what you do notice specifically is that you've glanced at the yellow, like the vortex you came through. You've glanced at the vortex that Frinker stood in front of, and there seems to be a vortex of a reddish hue in the opposite direction. And you notice that they're all on top of these sort of like almost glassy like crystal circles. And as you've taken a few steps up, you've noticed that the flow of mana does not seem, very specifically, to be flowing towards the circle at Akan's feet. Almost as if it's been switched off.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he wants to be followed. Guess all we can do is check out some of these portals and hope for the best.
What about yellow? I like yellow.
I was about to suggest maybe we take it one by one, not split our forces like last time.
There's enough of us to each take one each.
We can each one of us take one.
There's more portals up here.
Oh, for God's sakes.
You hear Galena's voice reverberate as she shouts down from the hall. And Galena, up close, you can see that the artisanal design of this statue of Akan is both impressive and upsettingly realistic. He looks both exactly and nothing like he's described in the books.
You and I have a score to settle.
But you absolutely do recognize that at the far end of the hall are two more kind of wings with a blue and green hued vortex.
All right, well, Franka's idea seems as good as any.
Yay!
Shall we yellow, red, blue, green?
Whatever we do, we must go together.
Davin kind of lifts a finger in. Well, what might be if you all go investigate that yellow portal there, that would be great. We'll make sure that no one sneaks up behind you.
Your bravery is appreciated.
Right, thank you, Comstock.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Brinko, how about you
Jump!
wait for the rest? God! Well, spirits, damn it!
So, as you all
right.
So Galena, Dryadia, you watch as Frinka hopscotches into this vortex, and as she leaps into this kind of column of mana, she just seemingly
Mistakes were made!
is almost just vanishes from existence.
You just hear the echoes of "Avenge me!"
Dryadia, Galena, you stand on the steps in front of Davin and Knockenbach, who are sort of watching the door, watching you all step through the portal. And you hear one of the goblins go as everyone starts vanishing when they touch the portals.
You know, Dryadia, I reckon that there's probably about a 70% chance there'll be some kind of long-term side effects from popping through this.
Well, worse things have happened to me in the last few days, so...
Worse things have happened. Come on. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh.
And we go.
Okay.
Frinka! I appreciate the enthusiasm, really I do.
Oh, thanks.
But how about we try and do things together, as a group, rather than throw someone with a lack of armor into a situation first? As if there was a crossbow on the other side, or...
I got you, Comstock. And Frinka will take Comstock's hand. We're in this together now. I'll just hold on to it.
Ah.
Wherever you go, I go.
I'll take it.
She's not letting go.
I do need to use my hand to defend you.
Which hand?
Well, this one holds a shield, this one holds a sword.
So how we together?
But clearly you're taking things a little too literally here, Brinker.
I don't know what you mean.
Galena and Dradia, you emerge you merge it through. You step into the vortex. You feel this kind of this lurching in your stomach as you seemingly get wrenched through reality. And as you place a foot down and complete the step you took, you find yourself in an octagonal room. Dryadia, you notice that Milia is immediately to your left, just kind of looking at Comstock and Frinker, presumably with a bit of a look of despair on her face, as Frinker's like desperately trying to like grab onto Comstock's wrists.
Stop it! Get off! Get off! Get
But
off!
No, come on.
as you all kind of glance around the room, you like Galena, you notice what are undeniably bookshelves filled with tomes, scriptures, scrolls, like
Come to Mama.
all sorts of curious bits and bobs. But these bookshelves stretch a good 30 feet to the ceiling overhead, and curiously go from literally floor to ceiling, almost as in an almost wall-like manner. Immediately in front of you there are smaller bookcases around an octagon of glass-like crystal, and the room is illuminated with this eerie blue glow from a number of torch bearers that seem to house glowing crystals. There is also a large spherical orb of crystal, much like your hand, that hovers 15 feet above the ground, so halfway between the floor and the ceiling. Looking up, you notice that the ceiling has a similar glassy-like octagon. But who's got the highest perception? Frinker, Comstock, and Dryadia. As you look up, you notice there appear to be shelves. Obviously, there are bookshelves and whatnot, but there are other shelves scattered around the ceiling that are obviously upside down because they're attached to the ceiling with things on them, and they don't appear to be falling down towards you.
That's odd.
What was that you said, Galena?
So
About
the
physics.
ceiling and sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry. No.
So you've got the ceiling, and then there are like bookshelves like jutting off the walls and whatnot with things on them, but the things are obviously facing you. But it's almost like have they been stuck to these shelves to stop them from falling down upon you?
Comstock takes a book off the one of the bookshelves and just yeets it up into the air.
Galud, as you say that, you watch as Comstock throws this book, and the book's light enough that you manage to get enough height that it rises up to the roughly level with that large spherical orb in the center of the room. And there's a moment where it slows and then carries on up to the ceiling and boom, hits the ceiling and sticks there.
Comstock watches it happen and looks down to Gleaner as like, it's science, right?
Yeah, but you could just thrown something else.
I was going to apologize, but I figured I'd do the science first and apologize. Like, what's it? Ask for forgiveness rather than permission?
I taught you well.
As you all say that, Galena, you notice that on the opposite side of the room to you is a swirling blue vortex. On the other side of the pillar that's kind of dominating the middle of the octagonal glass segment, that section. And in watching the book that Comstock hurled up, which then seemed to carry on rising until it hit the ceiling and stayed there, you notice that there is another swirling blue vortex on the ceiling. You also notice there is a pink vortex to your right.
Okay. Guess we're jumping through portals.
What's Milia doing?
Honestly, mostly sitting back and watching. I'm out of my depth, and I know that.
Sure. This does seem like a very peculiar place.
I was a locksmith.
It's been a long time since you were a locksmith, though. A lot has happened.
Well,
Year and a bit.
yeah, you're in a bit, something like that. So, yeah, what's the plan? What are you all doing?
I think we're just literally throwing science at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Okay. So, Comstock, go.
Comstock's going to defer to Galena on this one.
Oh,
Galena, go.
Comstock. How high can you jump?
I have yet to test out those greaves I picked up, but according to Haladradis, before her inevitable disagreement, she said this thing could make me jump better.
Oh.
What is your strength score?
My strength score is, drum roll blocks, 18, so plus 4.
How tall are you?
Oh, no, Dan, I never figured out his height.
What is Comstock's BMI, please?
4 foot, 4'3".
I mean, I know I did that with Catcher in the first season, but I didn't bother with Comstock in this one because I didn't think
Okay,
it was
let's
important.
say. Okay.
Average
He
height?
feels like he's 6'2" to me,
6'2",
Comstock.
6'2" sounds
Nah,
good.
I think he's like 5'3".
You reckon?
He's a little guy.
He's a little
Yeah,
guy.
he's got
Yeah.
like angry little man energy, you know.
I
You're right,
mean,
you're right.
everyone is
Oh.
taller for me. I can't tell.
Like,
Average, whatever average is for a Lorobar.
Sure. Okay, it's around 6 foot. I mean,
Okay.
for all intents and purposes. Okay, cool. I know how high you can now jump.
That's good. I can jump 3 times the normal distance, so...
Sure. Don't look it up. Like, I know what the answer is, but don't look it up yourself. But what do you do?
Ugh. Please, someone
Science, Carmichael.
have a heal ready for me.
Wait, hold my hand.
I need to jump. Just
So?
I can't hold your hand.
You're leaving us behind?
Oh God, world spirits, look after me. Ugh.
Okay, so you watch as like Comstock squats, and you hear the fabric of his like trousers stretch
This is why I
over
wear
his,
nothing on my legs.
like over his rump. There's a whirring, and then he doesn't really seem to sort of like given his age and his size, he doesn't seem to sort of like spring up from that position all that quick. But there's just and you're just like, oh, he's gonna clear like a foot off the ground or something. But then there's just a moment where the boots gleam slightly, and there's an almost boom of energy as he flies up a good 21 feet straight up in the air.
Nice.
And Comstock, as you like are caught off guard, you soar up past this orb, and you get to a point where, like, as you go to pass the orb, it feels like you're slowing for a moment, and then you carry on, and there's a point where you start to tilt towards the orb, and then your feet flip up over your head. You find yourself upside down, and you carry on careening to the ceiling.
Whoa.
You land like. You crumple you hit the ceiling.
3-point superhero landing.
You take 8 falling damage
Dang.
as you fall up 30 feet.
Whoa!
And kind of land on the ceiling. And you all watch as like Comstock lands in a give me an athletics to see if you stick the landing.
15.
15. Okay, you do manage to stick the landing. It is a bit of a 3-point, like it's a bit of a messy 3-point turn because it's 30-foot fall in effect. But you sort of like land. Everyone watches as Comstock sticks to the ceiling, and then like stands up, and the Comstock, as you look up, you notice everyone else looking up at you as well. And you are upside down on the ceiling, looking up at them.
My assessment, Galena, is gravity is fucked.
Okay. My height thing is really confusing me at the moment. But it doesn't feel good.
So Comstock, you are now on this upper map, which is the ceiling, and you can see grayed out, like you can see slightly smaller where everyone else is on the floor, on the floor above you, whereas everyone else can now see where Comstock is on the ceiling above you.
Comstock, I don't think you're appreciating the gravity of the situation.
Oh my god!
Fuck, get out.
Oh god! Okay. Oh, have
That
a
was
fucking
good.
inspiration.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was great.
That was amazing.
Finker gets inspiration. Comstock, now that you're on the ceiling, you note you have a quick look around at the bookcases that go from the floor to the ceiling, or is it the ceiling to the floor? You don't know anymore. But you notice that all the books that you can see, and you realise it's pretty much all the books up until about 15 foot off the ground, so halfway, are all the right side up for you. But you know you're upside down. So yes, it seems like gravity is pulling in two separate directions.
Just to make some things, Comstock picks up the book he threw earlier and puts it on a bookshelf.
Sure. There is a space.
But is it alphabetically,
Absolutely not. Like, just...
Yeah. But you also notice, like, you know you're upside down, yet you don't have that feeling of like the blood rushing to your head or anything. It feels normal. It's just in this moment, it looks like everyone else is upside down on the ceiling instead. You also notice that there is another pink vortex off to the side, similar to the one that's near the others. Galena, what do you make of all this?
Seems like gravity's fucked.
No shit.
Honestly, could study this for the rest of my life. Is it presumably something to do with that orb? I want it.
The orb does so. The large spherical orb in the middle, like it's not perfectly spherical. It does look, there's kind of chunks and corners and edges and protrusions on it. You notice that there's sort of like gold banding around it. Almost, it looks a bit more ornamental than the other kind of blue crystal you've seen in this place. But yeah, it just seems to be oddly floating, like suspended in air. Frinker, what do you do?
Frinka will like do an investigation, like checking the walls, just trying to see if there's anything like hidden.
Sure.
Like physically hidden, like just going along the cracks and seams and walls and just making sure if there's anything that stands out.
Give me a quick investigation check.
Investigation. Boop. 6.
Okay.
I know
You
this.
kind of wander around, and there's a part of you that's a bit apprehensive to like get too close to the walls, given that they are made of this sort of like, the slightly softly glowing mana crystal that the forest was made of, Galena's hands made of. And like, as you take a glance at Galena's like hand, there's a point where you're just a bit wary of poking the wall in case it happens to you as well. But yeah, just it's odd because the walls because the ceiling is the floor and the floor is the ceiling and vice versa. They're obviously made of crystal. They're crystalline. But like you look down and there's the same kind of cobblestone flooring from before. You also see some sort of like wood decor. So there are small steps down to the kind of glassy octagonal space in the center. So like, yeah, the wood fixtures. The construction of this place is balmy. And it makes the tip of your nose tingle.
Strange place.
Hmm.
That'll be it.
Okay. Dryadia.
First off, Comstock, about 60 foot up in the air. Is that what you said? Well, 30 plus
He's 30 foot
20.
up.
30 foot. Okay, so first off, I'm going to cast Healing Word towards him.
Okay.
Here we go. Cast spell. Okay. So
Boom.
you
Perfect.
can recover your 8 points.
Much appreciated.
He shouts from the ceiling.
Thank you for volunteering. First off, can I the blue crystal in the center?
Mhm.
Can I kind of want to do two things, but I don't know if you want me to do them separately. I want to determine whether it's a natural crystal. Is it like more natural than the crystalline growths, or is it part of the same? And then secondly, I want to know whether it is controlling the sort of the gravity in the place.
Sure. Give me an Arcana check for both.
Arcana. So do you want me to do 2 checks, yeah?
Sure.
So
So the first question is a 3, and the second question is it powering?
yeah.
Uh,
So is it natural and is it powering? So that's a 3
Okay.
and a 12.
So it's hard to tell. It's the same hue, but like the mana crystal that the walls are made of that you've seen in general is always, like it's like hoarfrost in the morning. It's rough, it's jagged, it's very irregular and chaotic in design. Whereas in front of you, this octagon on the floor, above which is this big floating spherical orb. It looks like polished glass. Same color, it's got the same thrum, but it's hard to look at mana like you're not sure. It just seems like two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Okay.
In terms of is it magical? You do certainly feel magic radiating from it. But it's also in the sense that like you kind of feel magic radiating off almost everything here. Like this is just an inherently weird and wonderful place.
The second thing is you mentioned that there's a pink portal to the side.
Yes.
And there's one near Comstock.
Yes.
Can I step
So,
through
yeah.
the pink portal?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. So yeah, around you there's a yellow vortex. But there only appears to be one yellow vortex. There's two. You can see 2 blue vortexes, one of which is in front of you, the other is by Comstock, and then this pink vortex, of which there was also seemingly one on the ceiling.
I'm gonna
step into it, see what happens.
I'm gonna step into it.
What's gonna happen?
Can I? Will it? Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I can actually
As
drag
you step through the portal,
There you go.
You die.
and you disappear. Everyone watches as Dryadia vanishes, and Dryadia, you emerge into a room that is almost identical to the one you just left. But here, the crystals are a lilac pink hue, a rosy hue, rather than blue. Looking around, you see another spherical orb floating 15 feet above the ground. You see another set of blue vortexes over to your left. You see another pink vortex almost immediately above your head. It's almost like you're in an inverse of where you just came from.
Oh, I didn't think he was going to make it easy. Can I step back through the pink portal?
Go for it. And everyone watches as Dryadia rematerializes from the pink vortex she just disappeared through.
Are you okay? What's
I'm
on the other
fine.
side?
I'm fine. The other side is almost a mirror of this room, but inverse, opposite. I think these portals are connected, and I get the sense that there is a puzzle for us to solve in order to move forward and get out. These things can never be simple, can they?
No, they can't.
There is another blue portal in the room I've just come from. But it is safe, as far as I can tell. There's nothing, no danger.
I have a theory
Comstock.
about... Yes.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's best if you stay there for a moment.
Hang tight.
Yeah, Comstock, your neck's starting to hurt from craning it to look up at everyone.
Does anyone want to try the blue portal? I have my own theories, but...
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
As you say that, Frinker springs into action,
Whee!
begins making her way towards the blue portal, and
Aha!
Where
she
am I?
emerges. You step through the portal, you step into it, you emerge seemingly from the other side. You look around, you notice your surroundings are slightly different. You see Comstock in front of you, and as you peer up and see everyone looking up at you. They are upside down on the ceiling? Floor? What is happening?
So, it seems the blues are up and down. The purples are sideways.
There's only one way to find out.
Seems like.
And I'm going to jump back through the pink portal.
Okay.
And Comstock will jump through the pink portal on his side. Addy? Dryadia, apologies. Old habits.
So, Dryadia, you step out, you emerge back in the pink library, and Comstock, you emerge in a room identical to the one you just left, but hues of rose instead of hues of blue. And yeah, almost immediately above you, you see Dryadia. Upside down on the floor, but ceiling.
Okay. Stay there. I'm gonna go get the others.
Okay.
I'm sort of gonna go back through the pink portal and just relay the experience to everyone else. When I was in the other room, back in the pink room, were there still just two portals? There were the two pinks and the two
there was
blues.
no yellow. That's the only one you noticed. There was no yellow, which is the one you originally came through.
Oh. So there seem to be 4 rooms connected.
As you mull on this, Comstock, as you kind of look around this new area, let's say looks fundamentally identical, and you see Frinker emerge through the pink vortex as well.
Can I check something quickly?
Yes.
Can he go to the bookshelf where he put the book back on and see if it's mirrored?
It is not.
Okay. As you were saying.
They seem to be different books.
Okay.
You hear a whisper. It seems like Frinker was saying something under her breath.
Did you say something?
No.
Frinker, what are you doing? So, Comstock's looking at you with a confused face. You're looking up at the floor. There's this large orb floating 15 feet above the ground. Well, it's almost like 10, 12 feet off the ground because of the size of it. But yeah, pretty much in the middle of this 30-foot tall room. It's similarly golden banded. like the one in the blue library. But it just kind of hovers idly.
So 15 foot in the middle, there's a orb.
Yeah, so fundamentally, right above this kind of pillar in the middle.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a pillar in the middle of the room. It doesn't rise all that high, but then just suspended in space, equidistance between the floor ceiling and the ceiling floor, is this orb. Well, I
So
say
it's like-
orb. It's a chunk of mana crystal in a orb shape.
Check help on both sides.
No, it's just floating in space.
Oh, really?
Frinka,
What to do?
would you mind just returning to the other room a moment? Just make sure everyone's okay.
Oh, you want alone time? I get it.
As Frinka, as you're about to step through the portal, step through the vortex, go back to the blue library, you hear it's an ever so slightly subtle sound of, sounds like a crunching, like two rocks rolling over one another.
Okay. Can I perceive where it's coming from?
You've got passive 17. It sounds like it came from the orb.
Comstock, the orb is making noise.
I'm aware, that's what I'm trying to focus on.
Oh, okay.
Whilst
Bye.
that happens, you yeeting out. Okay, so Frinka, as you disappear through the vortex and appear back in the blue library, Milia, Addy, and Galena, you hear Frinka emerge. The three of you, give me perception checks.
Perception, that thing I'm bad at. 3.
22.
14.
Okay. So, Milia, you're kind of distracted by everything that's going on. Galena, you hear the sound of like crunching rock, like crunching glass, and you just sort of like reflexively kind of wiggle your fingers because it's a noise that your hand makes every so often when it gets a bit caught. Dryadia, you hear the noise and you instinctively look towards Galena, but you notice that Galena's not making the noise with her hand until after what you just heard. And your eyes slowly turn to the sphere floating in space.
Helena.
You hear something?
Yes. Keep your hand still a moment. And then I look up to... just keep it still. And I look up to the big orb. Now, can you turn your hand maybe a quarter to the right?
Sure. I turn my hand a bit.
As Galena starts wiggling her hand about, you notice the orb start to shift ever so slightly, noticeable by the gold banding moving slightly from side to side.
Did you notice that? I think you've got some control over this place. This is good news.
Oh, it's fun.
The orb begins floating down towards you. Frinka, you notice the orb above your head is beginning to float away towards the others. Comstock, you notice your orb is beginning to float towards you. What do you do?
I'm going to see if, by readjusting either where my hand is or my mindset or both, whether I can make it start rising up again.
Okay. You focus. Roll me an Arcana check.
Yeah. 10?
You reach out and focus on sort of like using your hand to manipulate the orb, and you're trying to recreate that feeling you had when you found the outside of the tower. The orb carries on slowly drifting down to the point where it's just nesting on top of the pillar in the center of the octagon. It stops for a moment. Meanwhile, Comstock, yours does the same. It comes to a rest just above the pillar. You notice a number of jagged, draconic-looking runes ignite up the pillar towards the orb. And Comstock, you watch as the orb shudders.
Raises his shield.
The orb shudders, stops, and then with the sound of crunching rock and glass, it seemingly begins to unfold into what appears to be a hulking humanoid figure made of crystal.
Oh boy.
Oops.
With the gold banding forming a helmet and shoulders of sorts.
Is this happening on our side as well?
Yes.
Oh no.
Is. And as these two figures kind of roll out in front of you, Comstock, you take a step back and you raise your shield as this thing kind of peers at you. Galena, the figure unfolds and stands stoically like a statue. Fringa, you can see this thing like dwarfing the three of them on the opposites on the floor. And it's motionless for a few moments before it turns to look to you, Galena, and in a low rumbling voice you hear,
"Contaminated crystal. Begin purge."
Everyone please roll me initiative.
Oh no.
We negotiate with it.
Dum-da-dum-dum-dum.
7.
Oh my god.
Hey, that's wasted.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, Galena 22, Comstock Nat 20, Dryado 15, Vrinka 8, Milia 7, and the Archivists elsewhere in the middle. Okay, so as this thing turns to look to you and in a low rumbling growl says,
Begin purge.
Galena, what do you do?
But if you insist, I'm gonna unsling a vial of special stuff I've put together lately, and I'm gonna Melf's acid arrow this thing.
Okay.
Hope for the best.
Ooh.
Good spell.
Okay, gonna acid arrow it. Is it a ranged attack?
It appears to be hitting with a mighty 13.
I'm gonna need you to roll with disadvantage, I'm afraid.
Oh no.
Oh, look
It's
at me.
within-
I'd have to ask you to roll with disadvantage.
Oh.
It is within 5 feet of
Oh,
you.
it is within 5 feet of me. Oh, Dan. It's very uncool of you. Let me do that again. Okay, 13.
We'll go with the 13. So you go to sling this in a panic. What does your acid arrow look like?
It's just normally I'd like strap it to my crossbow, but I don't have time, so it's just a little flask of
Okay.
vibrantly green liquid.
So as you hurl the flask at this this sort of like mana crystal golem that's just sprouted up in front of you, it brings its right hand up, and the crystal extends into what appears to be almost like a large sword-like blade, and it kind of blocks the vial. So you didn't hit, but it takes half damage.
And piss. Okay. So that would be 8 acid damage.
So that's the 4 immediate. So 8. It is +4. Okay, so your immediate damage is 12. It's 8 + 4. So half to 6. Because that 16 is counting your continuing damage.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can look at it. Okay, so it takes 6 damage
That times.
as the acid like splashes across the blade that it's just kind of conjured. And the figure, like the golem, pulls its arm back, like as the acid eats into the mana crystal, and kind of looks at you with this expressionless helmet, and growls loudly enough that the dust on the floor billows out a little bit.
Sweet. Yeah, I want to run away
Okay.
from the man and probably take a sword to the spine. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. As you make a break for it, it will attempt to slam you for 12 to hit.
Yeah, gonna need to try harder than that to slam Galena.
In which case, Dryadia and Milia, you watch as this thing like brings that sword that's now acid popped and bang brings it down, and it like attempts to swing it down on Galena, and Galena like jumps out the way at the last moment, and this blade like cracks the stone that it hits, and then it watches as Galena scampers into the portal, and Galena, you and appear on the ceiling.
Okay, that's me done.
Comstock.
Has my one made any sort of indication that it is hostile?
It's looking at you. It's looking in your direction. But it's your call.
Well, let's go as he steps around it. So enters its threat range. So 5, 10, 15, 20.
As you get to this point, you notice that it is watching you with rapt attention.
And then I shall take 1 step back for 25 feet of movement out of this threat range.
At that point, it as you go to leave, it goes to lunge out at you.
Okay.
14 to hit.
That is a miss.
Okay, so you manage to hop out the way as this thing swings a large crystalline fist like in your direction, and as it misses you and pulls its hand back, a blade, like a bar, a piece of the gold, like moves into what you could describe as its hand, and the crystal extends from it in the shape of a large sword. And that appears as it brings its arm back, and it lets this kind of low, resonant, bassy as it does it.
Well, it's good to know you will be a problem later. But these rooms mirror. So 30, and then he's going to dash by taking an extra 5 feet. Step on the portal. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Look up.
Yeah, you see Galena.
So I have 25 feet of movement left, right?
You do, yes.
How high was the jump before I flip?
15.
15. So, and I can jump 25?
21.
21 feet, which is fine. And my boots basically let me jump as long as I have movement remaining.
Yes.
Comstock looks up, sees the one fighting everyone else, and... Fuck me!
Okay, so you leaping back
Leaping
to Earth?
back
Nice.
to terra firma.
Okay, and Dryadia and Milia, you watch as Comstock hurtles. Are you doing it on the spot that you jumped from?
Well, as soon as I can jump 21, no, I can move there, so I won't land on
Good.
Frinker.
Okay. In which case,
Well, I wouldn't land on
Comstock,
Frinker, but yeah.
Comstock, you hear a grunt as Comstock like bounds straight up. Comstock, you hurtle and you get to that midpoint, like 15 feet between the floors, and you feel gravity kind of reverse. Your feet kind of go out under you, and as you fall, that will be 10
Worth it.
falling damage as you land like a meteor.
There's one of these other things in the roof on the other side. Get behind me!
Anything else, Comstock?
I think that's everything I can do at the moment. That is all.
Okay, perfect. Dryadia. So
Hello.
Comstock has just hurtled to the spot next to you like a comet. What do you do as this thing has taken a swing at Galena, who's just bamfed up onto the ceiling?
Okay, first I want to cast. Can I move up a little bit closer to it, and then I'm going to cast Thunder Wave to sort of push it back away
Okay.
from everyone.
Sounds good. Roll me up a Thunderwave.
So it needs to do a saving throw.
Okay. Given that it is made of a glass-like material, I will roll this with disadvantage.
Nice.
Rolls a 6.
Ooh. So that means it takes 2d8 thunder damage, and it's pushed 10 feet away. So damage. Takes 9 thunder damage.
Okay, so it's blown 10 feet away, yes?
Yep.
1, 2. Okay, so what does this look like as you step in?
So before, when Addie would make a spell, she would usually call upon powers that were obtained or contained within her sort of staff-like spear that she had.
Mhm.
But this time, you notice that the sort of the energy is almost coming up from within her, and you see those tattoos, those pearlescent tattoos glow phosphorus for just a moment, and then as she puts her hands out forward, the pure thunderous energy just explodes from her fingertips.
Okay. And that deafening boom blows the crystal archivist back with such force that it smashes through the small pillar that it had been propped on a moment ago, sending bits of rubble kind of scattered around. And it sort of like skids a little bit, slides across the floor before turning the blade upside down and using that to slow its pushback. And it turns to look to you. Anything else, Dryadia?
I am then going to use a bonus action to cast Shillelagh on my my staff.
Okay.
And
Takes 9
just
damage.
sort of growl out, "Nothing's going to get in the way.
Okay.
Not this time. I will not be taken so easily."
In response, the archivist looks to you and sees the three of you in front of it, and like its blade is upside down, and then it turns its head up to look at the ceiling where Galena is. And
Guys.
Oh no.
where is Galena? The creature begins walking towards the portal with great thunderous stomping steps, and then stops short. It then seemingly floats off the ground a few feet before inverting and hurtling towards the ceiling like a meteor. And
Oh, come on!
with a boom, in fact, I was supposed to do this because it's much more fun to have everyone upside down. It lands next to you, Galena. Please make me a dexterity save. DC 13 dexterity save.
I see, that's how it is. Okay.
As it takes 11 damage.
Whoa.
Whoa! Okay. So, as it lands and there's a concussive boom that blows out, you would normally take 13, you take half damage, you take 6 bludgeoning damage as this thing lands in front of you. And like you notice as it lands, small cracks appear on like its shins for all intents and purposes, from the force that it impacted the ceiling with. But it looks to you seemingly uncaring and
Corrupt crystal detected. Purge initiated.
and it's there with you now. Frinka,
Don't purge me.
This golem has just struck the ceiling with the force of a boulder. What do you do?
No good. I will shoot it with my short bow.
Back through the
I will
bottle.
use steady aim,
Yes.
and I think it will get like some cover.
Yeah.
24 to hit.
That's a hit.
He hits. And I have 3d6, right? As a 5th level rogue.
You are now 5th level rogue, so yeah, 3d6 plus
Alright.
the 8
Plus, what do I get? D8.
for your. Oh, it's d6 for the bow.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I gotcha. 16 points of
16.
damage.
Okay, so you and like as you pull the bow back, you look for like a weak spot, and as you see like a crack in its like reaching up like its leg, and you fire at it. The arrow strikes true, and then just kind of like lodges into the crystal, and then as it moves, it falls out, and you realise it doesn't seem to have done as much damage as you hoped it would.
Oh, there's that phrase.
It's super effective. Okay, that's my turn.
Okay, Milia. The archivist is now on the ceiling. What do you do?
How far away is it from me exactly?
So, given its height,
Yep.
it is 20 feet above your... Like, the top of its head is 20 feet above you.
Cool. Guiding bolt.
Okay.
So, people have only seen Milia do, like, supporting magic before, and maybe, like, a tiny little flare.
Yeah.
But, now it's just, like, that flare sort of just grows even brighter, and then just launch it.
There's a big bada boom. Guiding bolt has a range of 120 feet, yeah.
Yeah.
4 days. Okay.
17 to hit.
That is a hit.
Excellent. 12 radiant damage.
Okay. Galena, as this thing kind of looms up over you, and you see it sort of like you hear the crunching of the crystal as it seemingly tightens its grip around the blade it's got in its hand. You see from the ceiling, from your perspective, the ceiling, this beam. What does it look like? Sorry, so it looks like the flare.
The
Like a bigger
flare,
flare.
but just
Giga
a
flare.
lot bigger. Yeah. This is
Sweet.
Zeta flare.
Okay. And the flare strikes it sort of like at the base of the neck, and it rocks under the radiant power.
And the next attack on it now has advantage.
Next attack on it now has advantage. Perfect. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to kind of step behind Comstock as told.
Okay. In which
Not
case,
going into the portal.
It's kind of a moot point now. It's on the ceiling.
as you look up and Comstock says it's on the ceiling, Frinka, you are bumped out of the way
Oh my god!
by this large, hulking crystalline figure that kind of emerges from the portal. You're just like pushed to the side. It is upside down, and it stops. It looks at you for a moment,
No.
and then looks up.
Oh shit! Dang.
And it hurtles towards the three of you with a boom. It takes 3d6 falling damage. 8. Sorry, 4, because it's immune to non-magical damage. And the three of you, please roll me a Dex 13 save.
Oh, that's one of the two things I'm good at.
Nice.
19.
14.
14. That's a pass.
12.
Oh! Okay. So, Comstock and Milia, you take 6 bludgeoning damage as this thing next to you.
I take nothing.
Oh, you take nothing?
As
Okay.
comes up through the shield, he absorbs all the blow onto the shield. He slides
Okay.
back a bit.
You grunt as this thing sort of like lands, and like you put your shield out and effectively just use that to slide yourself out of danger. So Millie will take 6. Dryada, you take 13.
Oh, oh dear.
Coronation Street voice.
And this archivist appears to be among your party. Galena, what do you do?
Great question, Dan. Let's see which of these is going to work. I will bonus action slug down a vial of expeditious retreat. Make myself very fast.
Nope.
I will step slightly to the side and hope that lets me go through the portal.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Sweet.
So you jump through the portal. It goes to swing at you, but it won't get a chance before you bamf.
Cool. For my action, I will cast resistance on myself.
Yeah.
And then just look up at the ceiling and be like, "Down here, you big bastard!"
Okay.
And get ready to dodge. I hope.
Glittering.
It is glittering. Yes. Okay, so you start taunting at it. Frinker, you watch as this thing like growls as it looks back up to Galena. Anything else?
I'm done.
Okay, Comstock.
Comstock looks at it. It's like, son of a bitch, and immediately swings for it with his fencer's blade.
Okay, roll to hit.
19 to hit.
Smack it.
That. So you swing. Dryadia and Milia, you watch as this. So you notice that up the blade, up the fulcrum of the blade of this sword is this sort of like diamond-like hatching, like a Celtic-like crossover hatching up the blade. And as Comstock swings it, the gold, like there's a gold light that illuminates in the recesses, and it connects with the archivist, and then slices through it like it were flesh. That is a hit.
He takes 7 damage.
Okay, and the golem rocks back slightly as you like cut through the the glass like crystal like butter.
I will then unwavering mark upon him.
Mm-hmm.
So he has disadvantage on attacks that don't include me.
Mm-hmm.
And then as he sort of like comes back with a second swing,
Mm-hmm.
extra attack, baby. 18 to hit.
Is a hit.
Nice.
Sweet.
For another 8 damage. Well,
Shring, shring. Shing, shing. Okay, so as you bring the sword in, you're able to, on a swing round, like jab at it and kind of nick through the side. The wounds are clear. Nothing obviously spills out of them, but you're just kind of carving through rock in a very satisfying manner, I must say.
You and me. Leave the rest of them out of this.
Okay. As Comstock says this,
The rest of you kick the shit out of it.
Dryad, what do you do?
So having previously cast Shillelagh
Yep.
on my spear staffy thingy, I'm gonna make an attack with that.
Yaha.
Attack for 22.
That is a hit.
Awesome. And then damage, which should be magic damage. 3.
It should actually be
17 million.
70.
should be 7. Okay,
7.
so it's 7 damage because it scores off your wisdom. Okay.
Is it still doing? Well, I could just do the damage on the Shillelagh, like.
It's fine. It's fine. So, So your new spear, which seems to have, so it's the spear that you've always had, but now it looks like it's overgrown with sort of like verdant plant life and sort of like vines and thorns. What does it look like? What does this look like?
So it almost seems like the sort of pearlescent tattoos that now cover my body are mirrored up this staff, and it almost seems to have like veins, sort of running up it, right from the base to the tip of this spear. And once again, as I sort of make this move, before it was almost as if the magic was channeled from the ground up through the spear and then outwards, but this time there's a very definite sense of the tattoos across my body sort of glow phosphorus again, like the magic is coming from directly inside my body through the sphere, through the spear and out, and I hit him in the face.
Well, as you skewer the helmet, then it punctures like what the surface of this kind of gold-like metal. It slides in. As you pull it out, you realize that the helmet almost seems to be like a solid chunk of metal that now has this spear wound opened up in the side of it. Anything else, Dryadia?
I am then going to not do the thing that I thought I'd do. Nope, that is everything.
Okay. The crystalline archivist notices that you've disappeared through the portal, Galena, and steps through itself.
Oh, I thought it would do the thing.
It emerges, and you know what? Because I'm genuinely wondering, it's going to do a perception check for you. Because I can't figure out where you are. Oh, you're literally under it.
I'm between his legs.
Roll me a quick stealth check.
All right.
If you beat a 14, it doesn't notice you as it appears.
Incredible.
Perks of
news.
being small.
Let's go. No.
Okay. In which case, it's
They probably
the hand,
go.
isn't it? The hand goes beep beep.
So it takes a step out. It looks around for a moment and then looks down between its legs, and with an almighty swing, 15 to hit.
Meets beats. Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay. You take 13 damage as this kind of blunt club of a sword swings down at you. And sort of like swats you.
Ouch. I need to do a concentration as well. Am I running fast?
DC 10?
I fail. Fail, Dan.
Okay. In which
Slow
case,
again.
the blade catches you with enough force and flings you, and you like bounce off this nearby bookshelf. And as you take a blow to the ribs, you feel like you collide with such force that you and enough of the potion comes back out that you're like, oh no. Okay, Frinka.
Sweet.
Finka, she's on her back, having been pushed over by the Arcanist Golem, and so she just stay there and take the bow and shoot at the sky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one are you shooting at? The one that's attacking Galena or the one that's fighting Comstock?
The one that fighting Comstock, and I will steady aim it as well.
Okay. Yep. Roll to
That's the
hit with
bonus.
advantage.
Advantage.
Hey.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Right.
So
Ooh.
what? 8d6 plus 4.
So I can hold on. I can just do plus 3d6, and then click on critical hit. No, that's right. Yeah, 1d6 plus 3d6 critical hit. Let's do that. 37.
Good.
So yeah, because it'd be 9 plus.
Oh, were you saying? Do we max dice? You said
Yeah, well,
something
it's
about
max dice, so it's So your normal attack would be 4d6, so that maxes out to 24 plus 3, so 27. And then, so it's 27 for the crit. And then you've rolled a 1 on the actual dice, so 28. And you rolled another 4 for 1, 28, 32, 36. Okay, it's right. Yeah, 37.
Oh, it calculated it.
Cool. Perfect.
I see.
It's very spicy. So you fire it, and you notice the arrow like lodges into the base of its neck, like just behind the helmet. But this time the arrow forces its way in so far that the creature, the golem's head, like twists to the point where it's just like it can't, you've jammed its neck. So now it's on a constant kink. And Comstock, it sort of like it wobbles slightly as it tries to figure out like where you are, Comstock, as it's readjusting its perspective. Very good, Fringo.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Green goes, gotcha! It's my turn.
Great shot kick! Don't get cocky!
Alright.
Milia, your thingy is still, your guiding bolt is still active on Galina's archivist.
Yep. Nice and simple. Just sort of, now that the other one is still glittering and glowing, kind of just reach out, take my hand and kind of almost pull some of the light out and cast Bless on Galina, Comstock, and Dryadia.
Thank you.
Galina,
Much appreciated.
Comstock, and Dryadia. Okay, so the three of you feel this warmth radiate through your body as Milia infuses you with divine energy. Anything else?
That's him.
Okay. In which case, the archivist that's fighting you tries to look up to see where this blow came from, but it can't because of the arrow lodged in. It happens to be Frinker's iron shaft arrow, clearly. So instead, it just turns its look to you, Comstock, and with a swing, 24 to hit.
Oof, 24 is a hit, but what Comstock will do is use his new fencer's blade.
Yes.
To catch the blow and try to throw it off. So he has to roll again.
Okay.
Oh.
Whoa.
16.
That is a miss.
Nice.
Nice.
So
as this thing swings down at you, what does it look like?
Imagine it's obviously where these runes come up on it. Imagine he sort of as it comes up, he manages to bap it with the shield, catch the hand with the sword, flip it away, and then because I get free attack, he then swings down on the hand to try and sever it.
Ooh.
Okay, make an immediate attack.
25.
That's a hit.
Nice.
For 5 damage.
Okay.
Oh, wait, is that not included my strength modifier?
Yeah. No strength.
So it's 25. So another 4.
Another 4 on that. Yeah.
Okay. So 9 damage. So you catch the blade with the shield, knock it back, and you bring the sword up. It catches the elbow of the creature and slices up on the blade hand, and the creature rocks from being kind of off balance, and its head all janky. Very, very good. Okay.
Thank you.
In which case, as this happens, sort of the archivist rocks a few seconds. There's it pauses for a moment, and then with the sound of bending metal, it moves its helmet back into place. And Frinky, you watch as the arrow just is forcibly bent with the pressure of this thing correcting itself. Galina, as you kind of hold your ribs and kind of look up at the archivist that's towering over you, and Comstock, you hunker down along with Dryadia and Milia against the other. I reckon we call it there.
Wait. What is going on?
Elsewhere. The silhouette of Atrach is illuminated by the scrying orb he peers through, which is currently watching 5 adventurers scrapping in his library. And his lip twists into a snarl. He turns to look over his shoulder to see Carla stood behind him. And his eyes narrow as he recognizes that ever since Ekabosdir, she seems to have lost her confidence. A shame. As he turns back to the scrying orb, and in his mind he ponders on what he needs to do before they arrive. An unfamiliar voice whispers in his ear. I see you have some uninvited guests. He turns to look surprised, and stood in front of him is a lithe Asavar woman with long, sprawling platinum hair in a dark teal dress. And he frowns.
How, Milia? How did you get in here?
The Asavar opens her eyes to reveal nothing but pitch black. No, not Milia, but I do like the form. You can call me Uixala. I hear that you have taken on a noble quest to save your wife.
Dang. Dang. I'm gonna be fighting everyone.
you should have taken the devil's bargain while you had it, Milia.
Congratulations, everyone, on completing episode 16.
Sorry, but I'm happy with that. And Miller's fucking however many year old demon had decided she likes me so much. She's like, damn, that's a piece of ass. I'm gonna stay as that.
Yeah, but now we've got to fight 2 evil versions of our previous party members. For God's sake.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Right, so congratulations for completing. Thank you for playing. Thank you for watching and or listening. Yeah, we're in the final stretch. Who knows what happens from here on out?
You do. You know what happens.
Me
from
does.
here on
You
out. We
Me
don't.
does.
We're,
I hope me
we're
does.
ignorant.
Yes. So, if you like what you saw or heard, make sure to hit the like button and leave a comment down below on whether you are Team Victor did nothing wrong or Team Comstock did nothing wrong.
None of you better be on Team Victor did nothing wrong.
I am. Listen, I'm on team. Yep, that's my team. Vote for me.
So, yes, we release stuff like this all the time, quite regularly, in fact. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications of when we release new stuff. You could almost say it's weekly. Almost.
You could, but
You could. So, thank you once again for playing. Thank you once again for watching and or listening. And we will see you next time.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
no.
Yeah.